Boom, 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 I don't even know what I'm doing, man. I woke up like 30 minutes ago. I'm not mentally there. I'm on another plane of existence right now. Lost in the flames. I'm gonna guess something got on fire. That's the exact kind of thing you'd use when something gets on fire.
Oh, he's awake.
Yay.
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm fully conscious.
The operation was a success. All the pathogens were removed, and your heart is functioning normally.
It was a complicated procedure, but we were able to complete it. Being operated on while you still had your strength should speed your recovery.
Well, Professor, congratulations on the success of your operation.
Thank you.
That stigma is quite a remarkable disease. I never imagined such an insidious pathogen could exist. It amazes me each time I watch the recording of the operation.
Recording? Rousseau, I thought I made myself clear. I only gave you permission to read through the existing data.
Yes, that's true, but I thought perhaps...
My orders are absolute. Or are you scheming to steal my research?
Don't be silly, Professor. I'm completely loyal to...
I want everything in this room. That includes any recordings and extracted organisms. I won't have them where I...
Oh, stress.
Professor, please. You must stay calm.
Dr. Rousseau, can't whatever you have to discuss with Professor Wilkins wait until later?
Yes, well then, please excuse me, Professor.
It might still have stigma.
Please. I'd like to be alone for a while. Don't worry. I won't overexert myself.
Then we'll return later to explain your status.
Yes. Thank you.
We don't have a sample or any data. So how do you intend to study stigma, Marcus?
Are you just going to pretend it doesn't exist?
No self-respecting doctor would admit the existence of such a thing, outside of a sci-fi movie.
That's only because they lack the knowledge.
Oh, really?
Do you recall the incident that occurred 10 years ago?
What
A
incident?
deadly man-made infectious disease
Oh,
spread throughout the world.
guilt.
It was known as guilt.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that. Is there a connection between guilt and stigma?
Yeah, they're very similar.
Most likely not. The professor has already tested that vaccine on it.
Oh.
It had absolutely no effect.
I guess I can see why Rousseau's so intrigued by it. If he was the one to announce it to the world, he'd become the most renowned doctor in medical history.
Ugh. 4 days later.
Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Blaylock, 2 patients have been added to each of your schedules.
Aren't these Rousseau's patients?
Yes, but he's very busy.
Oh, sure.
Looks like I better get used to being sleep deprived.
It seems Professor Wilkins is on the road to wellness.
But how long will it take for him to fully recover?
The professor's a lot tougher than he looks, you know.
Dr. Rousseau must be hoping he resigns, or at least relinquishes some of his authority.
I heard another hospital has been courting him as well. He's had a lot of visitors lately.
Perhaps he's going to take up a position as a lecturer somewhere. I envy him.
He's the talk of the entire hospital.
Oh,
Yeah.
but he's not the only one.
Meaning what exactly?
I've heard from more than one source that someone will be paying you two a visit soon as well.
I'm scared.
Maybe Professor to-be Rousseau will let you know about it.
That's not really my idea of a promotion.
Okay.
Well, I'm calling it quits for today. Hopefully tomorrow won't be as stressful.
What about the professor's charts?
He's been updating them himself. It is top secret after all. Speak of the devil. He's paging us. I wonder what he wants.
He didn't mention anything to me. Is that the fire alarm?
Something must have happened. We better go check on the professor.
Damn it. What the hell? Is that...
No! Help!
That man's on fire! We have to help him!
Be careful, Marcus!
Drop to the floor! Hurry! Valerie, isn't there a fire extinguisher around?
Doctor, stand aside!
Quick thinking, Elena.
Someone. Professor Wilkinson. Stigma.
This is Russo. Yeah.
Is that you? And then set fire.
Hang in there. We're going to get you some help.
He's been badly burned. His life is in danger.
I'll get something to transport him with.
Thank you, Elena. Get the OR ready, too.
Russo. Burn.
The patient is suffering from burns all over his body. Some of them are 3rd degree. The burned area covers over 20%. We'll have to use... I suggest that we transplant skin.
Because we don't have to do anything real
then
soon.
that's our only option.
If we inject culture fluids, we'll be able to avoid further damage.
We don't have to actually like cut into him.
Since
That's
we'll be
good.
working on 3rd degree burn. I've said this already.
Let's go.
Right, let's get started.
No, we should kill him for what he's be doing, you know, because he's an asshole. But whatever.
These burns are pretty severe. We'll have to remove...
All right. You'll have to inject it into the right side of his body, where the skin isn't burned. The culture is taking effect. Please use the scalpel to remove it.
Once we're ready to transfer the donor...
You'll most likely need several grafts. Let's look for other unburnt areas.
The most severe burns have already turned black. We'll need to excise this necrotic...
Are you prepared to begin debridement? Please inject it directly into the blackened tissue. The coolant seems to be working. Now, use the scalpel. The affected area... You can place the area's been drain the blood first. Now, please try to place the donor skin before the wound hemorrhages again.
Vitals have dropped?
It looks like this area is going to need more than one piece of tissue.
Come on. This is some real shit right here. Why is it not?
The coolant won't be effective unless you inject it directly into the blackened area.
I don't understand.
These will have to...
Alright, you'll have to inject it into the right side of his body. The culture is taking effect. Please use the scalpel to remove a section of the epidermis.
Once we're...
You'll most likely...
The most severe burn will need...
Are you prepared? Please inject it directly. Now, please try... The coolant seems to be working. Now, use the scalpel. You can place the excise... The area's been debrided, so you can proceed to drain... The affected area is bleeding heavily. Hurry up and drain it.
So this isn't gonna work,
Looks
right?
like this area is going to need more than one piece of tissue.
Do we know how many he's gonna need though?
Vitals have dropped?
Drain the blood first. Then, prepare another piece of tissue for grafting.
Oh, I have to do that. And then I guess that will keep it to not, you know, do anything wacky.
We're done with this area. Let's go on to another burn. You have to inject the culture fluid into a part that hasn't been burned. a piece of donor skin around. You'll have to get another piece.
Oh damn it. I fixed those though. Oh yeah, so it's about the timing.
Halfway through. Keep it up.
I figured I don't have enough time. Ah! Restart. At least I know how to do it right this time.
These burns are pretty severe. Skin grafts are the only option. We'll have to
Alright, you'll have to inject it into the right side of his body, where the skin isn't. The culture is taking effect. Please use the scalpel. Once you'll let's...
The most severe, but we'll need...
Are you prepared? Please inject it directly into the blackened... The coolant seems to be working. Now, use the scalpel to excise... You can place the excised tissue on the tray. The affected area is bleeding heavily. Hurry up and drain it. You have to inject the culture fluid into a part that hasn't been burned. Now, it looks like this area is going to need more than one piece of tissue. We're done with this area. Let's go on to another burn. Drain the blood first. Then, prepare another piece of tissue for grafting.
There we go. That's a lot better.
Vitals have dropped?
The fuck? Oh my god. See how it doesn't want to cooperate? No, I didn't put him on the right spot.
We're halfway through. Keep it up.
Oh, we just got halfway. Just now. Son of a fucker.
There's not much time.
I
You
said!
can't keep moving a piece of donor skin around. You have to get another piece.
Almost done.
We have to hurry.
No, I should just slow down time, shouldn't I?
What are you doing?
Bringing them, Dr. Vaughn, both left.
It was just not.
We'll have
All right. You'll have to inject it into the right side of the
Very
spine.
finicky, and I
The
don't like
culture is
it.
taking effect. Please use the scalpel. You have to inject the culture fluid into a part that hasn't been burned. Once you'll most like. Let's look.
the most we'll need.
Are you prepared? Please inject it directly into the blackened tissue. The coolant seems to be working. Now, use the scalp. You can place the the affected area. Now, it looks like this area is going to need more than one piece of. We've done with this area. Let's go on to another burn.
Come on.
Vitals have dropped.
The coolant won't be effective unless you inject it directly into the blackened area.
We're halfway through. Keep it up.
We're doing better. A lot better.
Almost done.
Oh, it sucks. It's the black and what about his back? Is his back fine? I think there's probably more on his back, but whatever.
You completed
Yay.
the treatment. Great work, team.
That's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's so good. The next day.
The professor's office is nothing but ashes. Fortunately, no one seems to have been inside. But the professor's whereabouts are unknown, and we have reason to believe the data was stolen. According to what Russo said, the professor seems to have been kidnapped.
Probably by
What
himself.
did the detectives ask you?
Same things they asked you. What did I see when I arrived at the scene? I didn't say anything about stigma, for now. They wouldn't understand anyway.
Yeah, they wouldn't. One second. Okay.
I can't believe he was kidnapped. What's their motive? They obviously want more than just a ransom.
What's gonna happen to this hospital? What about us? The media's gonna be all over this incident. We won't have time to examine our patients.
Dr. Blaylock, Dr. Vaughn, there's someone here to see you.
The lady from Cautious.
If it's another investigator, then forget it.
Actually, it's the director of Caduceus.
Caduceus.
What?
Long time no see. Regarding what happened the other day, you have my sympathy.
Thanks.
How can we help you?
It's a little complicated, so I'll get right to the point. After seeing the two of you, I negotiated with the hospital to have you both transferred to our staff.
You're recruiting us?
That was the plan, but circumstances have changed.
So what does that mean?
Dr. Vaughn, Dr. Blaylock, by the authority of the federal government, I hereby order your immediate transfer to Caduceus.
The authority of the federal government?
The decision was made based on the research we believe Professor Wilkins was performing. As skilled doctors and colleagues of the professor, we require your expertise in the U.S. branch of Caduceus. We'll do our best to accommodate any staff member requests you may have.
I can't believe it. We're going to Caduceus.
Yay! A special assignment. Music's different.
Maryland, on the Atlantic coast of the United States of America.
Maryland? Maryland.
In a location close to the nation's capital lies the U.S. branch of Caduceus.
Maryland is where DC is, right? Yeah. You know, who gives a fuck about Maryland? That's a weird ass shape. Fuck Maryland. The weird ass looking shape. What is this? What even is this? Someone explain to me what even the poopy sloopy this is, because it's just not, because I don't like it. It's funny to look at like Google Maps and realize like the UK is like straight up where like, let's see. Let's get a look for this. Edmonton? Yeah. Let's look a lower, yeah. UK is pretty far, but also it might just be how maps are, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but maps like stretch things out the closer to the top or bottom you get, at least from the... Just watch a video about how you can't make Like you can't flatten out a spear. Anyways.
The international organization that treats and researches new diseases, Caduceus USA, falls under the jurisdiction of Health and Human Services.
I don't think the government ever cared about health and human services. I've never heard that being the government's motif.
Yet they have their own authority to act. They are dedicated to the treatment of intractable diseases and the prevention of infectious illnesses.
Marcus Vaughn, age 34, surgeon, place of birth, California.
1 second.
Valerie Blaylock, age 28, surgeon, place of birth, North Carolina. Elena Salazar, age 20, nurse, place of birth, California. You three will be assigned to the newly created Special Disease Counteraction Team. Now, sign here, and on the written oath and the waiver form.
Oh, jeez.
Why the sour face, Dr. Vaughn?
That's a lot of signing.
You're forming a new team?
1 second.
What, is this an anti-stigma measure?
You mean is it a result of Professor Wilkins' procedure? Well, we've had this planned for a long time, though the discovery of stigma did hasten its establishment.
Okay, so they already know what stigma is.
At least things will be easier on you, since it's such a small team.
Thanks for your concern. But if we'll be dealing with mainly new diseases, then we'll be performing fewer operations. I hope that won't affect my salary.
Leave it to you to think of that, Marcus.
No need to worry. We'll be referring plenty of patients to you, special cases which may require the healing touch.
Is no one gonna talk about Derek Styles? I want to hear Derek Styles. I want people to
Your
applaud
job description
him.
won't change much either, Elena. Your priority will be to assist Dr. Vaughn and Dr. Blake.
Thank you very much. I'll do my best, just as I did at Concordia.
Then, the first thing I'd like you to do is become familiar with Caduceus, and provide us with whatever information you have on stigma.
Regarding that matter, we've only encountered stigma in one operation. There's really not much for us to disclose, especially since Professor Wilkins kept a tight lid on all the data.
That's all right. Just tell us whatever you know. You may be surprised at how much you recall. Extraordinary events leave
It can
deep imprints in our
combine.
memory.
They combine into a mean
I hope we'll
mofo.
be able to live up to your high expectations. I was wondering, are we going to be questioned about the disappearance of the professor?
That won't be necessary. This is a hospital, not a police department.
Well, we don't know where the professor was taken.
I still feel it will do.
Okay, let me show you around.
Okay, let's go.
Now, this is your office.
Wow. Look at this equipment. I knew Caduceus would be amazing, but this is too much.
Your responsibilities won't be much different than they were in the past. Even though you're now members of Caduceus, you're still first and foremost doctors. We dedicate ourselves to research. A major part of your duties will be to keep your skills sharp.
Okay.
Well, it can't be any worse than Concordia. I mean, we weren't exactly welcome there.
Now, let's take a look at where you'll be performing your surgeries.
Boom, boom, boom.
There are a total of 10 ORs, each one equipped for a different type of procedure. Oh, Dr. Everett.
Director, do you know where Dr.
He looks hurt.
Tsuji is?
This is Dr. Everett, our chief surgeon.
He looks like he's in pain.
Yeah.
Is something wrong?
I've got cholelithiasis.
What's that? Cholelithiasis. Gallstones.
I was going to ask Dr. Tsuji to remove the gallstones, but I can't find her anywhere.
We can do that.
Director,
I wish I could.
but I can't.
Yes, they are.
I don't care who does it. I just need help. I can walk you through the procedure if necessary. I'll even suture myself when it's over.
I know this is
Not at all. Dr. Everett, I'm...
Skip the formalities. Just prep for surgery.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. My man's not doing too hot right now.
Let me Dr. Everett has cholelithiasis and has been experiencing pain for 3 years.
3 years?
Yes. I've told him repeatedly to admit himself to the ward and have it treated. However, it seems he's far more...
Typical doctor, neglecting his own needs.
I guess that just goes to show how passionate Dr. Everett is about his job.
When you put it that way. Oh, excuse me, please continue.
We'll use a laser to fragment the... Please extract the gallbladder.
So we'll be taking care of the cause of his pain.
Well, I must be going. I'll...
If you got gallstones, you get rid of the gallbladder. Simple.
Okay, let's get
you know,
started.
1 + 1 is 2.
We will now begin. Please disinfect the incision area and open him up.
There we go.
First, we'll be fragmenting the gallstones, passing through the ductal epithelium. If a gallstone passes completely through the... Let's begin by using the ultrasound to locate the gallstones. There's a gallstone. Use the laser to break it up. The gallstone has been fragmented. First, inject the sedative into the gallbladder.
We can't remove it all at once.
And don't forget to use the laser. All right then. Please, the cut has caused hemorrhaging. The gallstone has split into 2 parts. The patient's vitals have dropped. Please don't forget to treat the gallstones before they pass. The blood has been drained. Let's start cutting off the next segment. The second segment has been cut off. The hemorrhaging is getting worse. Don't forget to keep fragmenting the gallstones. The third segment has been cut off. 1 more to go. Remove the last segment before it hemorrhages again. Vitals have
Gallbladder
dropped.
has been excised.
Please extract the gallbladder and place it on the tray. You need to pay attention to the gallstones while you're working on the gallbladder. Gallbladder Please treat the hemorrhaging area with antibiotic
We shouldn't have any more.
and suture the epithelium closed. The gallstones have been eliminated.
There you go.
Please close him up.
Yeah, as soon as we take out the gallbladder, we shouldn't be getting any more gallstones.
Operation complete.
There we go.
We just arrived, and we're already performing emergency surgeries. I can't wait to see what's next. But I guess it was a good chance to get our feet wet.
You always see the positive, Val.
Oh, you're leaving? I was glad to hear the operation went well. Of course, I'd expect nothing less.
We always do our best.
I hear that often, but for some reason, this time I believe it. Tomorrow, we'll meet to discuss stigma. I'm counting on you both.
Like
Okay.
she said, we always do our best.
Special assignment. Q&A.
Wow, you assisted in an operation on your first day here? You must be good.
No, it's the doctors who are good. I'm just fortunate to be working with them.
Sounds like you work well with them. In my case, it depends on who I'm assisting. I get along with Dr. Everett, but Dr. Tsuji, on the other hand... Oh, forget I said anything.
By the way, Ms. Newman, about the operating room's support system.
Oh, call me Les. Now, it's our responsibility as nurses to manage the support system.
What's a support system and what's wrong with it?
It'll probably take some time, but once you get used to it, you'll be able to update an e-chart in a snap. Want to give it a try?
I'd love to.
Regarding this new disease, which has tentatively been named stigma, we received a report from the National Security Council, and its threat level is unknown. But I can say that the pathogen possesses astonishing mobility. It was unclear whether it even existed until now. But the Wilkins case put an end to the debate.
And we are basing that assumption on the testimony of our 2 new doctors, yes? Oh, pardon me. I'm Kanae Tsuji, a surgeon here.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you both.
You're absolutely correct, Kanae. While the information provided by Dr. Vaughn and Dr. Blaylock is highly reliable, our own investigation at Concordia also validates the theory. And it's worth noting, Professor Wilkins was conducting all the research on his own, without help from other doctors.
We spent less than a month there following our transfer from Alaska. But during that time, the professor seemed somewhat paranoid about an information leak.
To be honest, I'm surprised there was a leak, no matter how small.
The NSC never tells us their source of information. I bet the military is involved in it somehow.
Let's try to make do with the information we have at hand. At this point, the research can no longer be left exclusively to Wilkins. It's now the concern of our entire organization.
What?
Prior to your transfer here, we received reports of suspicious cases from various countries.
Oh,
We've
no.
already discussed those cases. The pathogens in question were confused with various parasites, so nothing was conclusive. If any new cases occur...
It's unfortunate, though, that Professor Wilkins' data was destroyed, and by an unidentified assailant at that. Am I the only one here who feels uneasy about this?
No, you're right. There's definitely something a little sketchy going on.
We're hoping that the
Something
professor's
a
still
little,
alive.
something a little sketchers.
From now on, if any new cases of stigma arise here in the U.S., the patients will be transferred to this facility whenever possible. Both Health and Human Services and the National Security Council have agreed to this. The operating surgeons will be Dr. Vaughn and Dr. Blaylock. Their prior experience dealing with stigma will be invaluable. I personally stand behind them, 100%. The rest of you will be invited to witness their expertise very soon.
I look forward to seeing the infamous healing touch.
I mean, infamous. It's famous.
That was a little unexpected. What have we gotten ourselves into, Marcus? Were you as shocked as I was by what they already knew?
Not really. A doctor considers any and all possibilities.
Well, I, for one, am surprised. I had no idea there was data on stigma, other than what the professor had collected.
Well, we've got more important things to worry about. We're leaving for the tech department tomorrow morning at 8, right?
Yes, so don't be late.
All right, then I'm gonna go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, is it?
Doctor, we just received an emergency.
What happened?
There was a big accident on the freeway. More than 30
Oh
people
my
are
God.
in serious condition. The request came from the state hospital.
Now I feel right at home.
Elena, can you let them know that we'll accept the patients?
No eye response, incoherent speech, decerebrate posture. E1, V3, M2. He's under 8 on the Glasgow coma scale. He's in critical condition. The patient has taken considerable damage to the right half of his body, and his lungs may be at risk.
Jeez Louise. This man did not have it.
He's definitely in bad shape.
The exact locations of his injuries are difficult to determine right now.
Has to
His
go in
vitals
and
aren't
find out what's
stable either.
wrong and...
Please hurry, but be careful.
There's no time to lose. Let's begin immediately.
Okay, let's get started.
The patient begin by treating the external wounds.
No, we always begin little booster shots, you know?
The external wounds have been... Let's open him up and begin treating his internal wounds.
Go inside, baby.
Let's keep an eye on his vitals and treat this wound here.
You'll need to hold one side of the wound with a please suture it quickly, or the wound will open again. That's the worst of the wounds. Please begin treating the others.
That should do it for this area.
Use the magnification tool to change where we're looking. There should be other injuries nearby.
A hemorrhage is
There we
formed.
go.
Use the antibiotic gel to treat it. Drain the pools of blood. Vitals are
That should be it.
Alright, let's close them up.
Wow, I just hit my headphones.
Operation.
There we go.
That was the last of the patients. The three of you can wrap things up now.
All right.
That was very impressive. If you don't mind, I'd like to assist you again sometime.
It's 3 a.m. Man, talk about a long day.
Well, this is what you wanted, right? To continue seeing patients.
Yeah, I guess that's the life of a doctor, no matter where you are. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Hey, don't worry. If we can survive in Alaska, we can survive anywhere.
Okay. Collaborative research. Yeah. Okay, already, episode 3.
So, I have a new job for you.
Uh-oh.
But first, let me introduce you to our head of research.
Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Cromwell.
Oh, he looks a little, something's a little weird about him.
Dr. Blaylock and Dr. Vaughn, I presume. It's nice to meet you. You must be busy adapting to Caduceus, as well as the newly established team. But the director recommended you two, so I would appreciate your assistance.
It's nice to meet you too. It would be our pleasure to help.
Good. I'd like you to participate in clinical testing under the supervision of the research lab.
Let me remind you that it is the duty of those in the medical field to not only cure patients, but to also research and pioneer new treatments. Doctors and researchers must work together to fight diseases both present and future. That's the purpose of Caduceus. There may be some interesting characters here, but they're all excellent doctors. I consider myself very fortunate to be able to conduct medical research among them. And on top of that, we now have the assistance of two truly gifted doctors with the healing touch.
Okay, that's even what I said. The
I
chance
firmly believe that with your precision, the data we'll be able to collect will be invaluable. That is why I'm so enthusiastic about your surgical skills. You don't have any objections, do you?
I appreciate your vote of confidence, even if it is a bit exaggerated.
Okay.
He's a dedicated professional, although he tends to be long-winded.
Now then, there's an operation I'd like the two of you to perform. The research you're contributing to will give new hope to heart disease patients everywhere. I'll explain as I show you my lab.
Okay.
It's true that many people frown upon our astronomical research budget. Mostly journalists and politicians who are trying to make a name for themselves. You know how difficult it is to produce significant results when conducting revolutionary research.
Oh my god. Stretch. Oh my god.
But thankfully, we also have generous supporters such as...
Oh, Dr. Cromwell, you have friends with you today. Would you introduce me? Pretty please.
Isabella. You really should start acting more professional. This is Ms. Vasquez. She's a representative of the Humani Corporation.
Humani.
I'm Dr. Blake.
That's a funny name.
Dr. Vaughn.
Nice to meet you, handsome.
We're partners
That's,
with a number of large pharmaceutical companies
thank
and
you.
medical manufacturers, including Humani, who've been a tremendous help to us.
I hope my looks don't give you the wrong impression about our company.
What do you mean by that?
Humani is a major player in this industry, and I've been known to play hardball when needed.
Humani holds several lucrative pharmaceutical patents and leads the way in regenerative medicine.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know.
We have a research specialist from Humani on staff as well. She's a very talented young woman and has produced great results. Cynthia!
I'll go get her, Doc.
Thank you. The operation that you'll be performing would not be possible without her help.
Yes, Dr. Cromwell? Oh, that's right. You said you'd introduce me to the doctors today.
This is Cynthia
Yep.
Kozakov. She's a beautiful woman, as you can see, and quite brilliant.
Cynthia Kazakov? You wouldn't happen to be from Trinity Medical School, would you?
Valerie? Valerie Blaylock?
Yeah,
You became a doctor!
thanks. Wow, I never expected to see you here, of all places.
You're going to be helping us? This is great!
I'm Marcus Vaughn. Sorry to interrupt such a touching reunion.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
Yep.
So, you two are old friends. I have a feeling this... Now, Cynthia.
Okay.
Allow me to explain the details of the operation, as well as the usage of the myocardium patch. Our patient is a
That came up in
10-year-old
the mic.
girl with an
I love
occlusion
that.
in her heart. Her heart
Alright.
functions are deteriorating. If this continues, she'll have a myocardial infarction.
That's a fancy name for a heart attack right there. Myocardial infarction.
That's where the myocardial patch comes in.
I don't know much about it. It's a form of synthetic membrane, correct?
Yes, it's a new type of synthetic membrane that uses the whole cell voltage clamp. The membrane itself is elastic and helps the heart move and function.
That's amazing. It truly is a miracle of science.
It's only as incredible as the skills of the people using it.
Nothing like a little pressure. I don't mind, though. That motivates me.
We'll do our best, of course. I can promise you that.
I'm glad to hear it.
So, we'll be applying this myocardial patch by positioning it according to the guide. Is that this operation's objective?
Yes, this operation will be performed without stopping her heart.
Oh.
But I have faith in Caduceus and in all of you.
Do it while the heart's beating.
Let's start.
Let's go!
Let's begin. We'll be operating on the heart. Please open her up.
Let's go! Progress.
Let's confirm the 3 areas of occlusion have been located. Follow the guide. If the myocardium patch isn't placed, start by applying antibiotic gel to the occlusion areas. The first myocardium patch will be applied. Carefully match the location and angle of the patch
No.
with a pattern on the heart.
I need to change the tilt. Controllers, configure, motion simulation, angle, 45, 40, let's do 40.
The myocardium patch has her heart rate is in. There's a possibility that the already weakened air. If you find a hemorrhage, here's the next occlusion area. Let's continue the operation. What? The guide moved? Does this mean that we'll have to apply the patch when the size of the myocardium patch needs to be placed along the guide? Placing it there is useless. Doctor, the patient's undergoing cardiac. Use the defibrillator to resuscitate her.
Did I fuck up?
We have a pulse. A blood pool is formed. Please drain it quickly. Doctor, the patient's undergoing. Use the defibrillator to resuscitate her. We have a pulse. Please watch the guide and place it when the sizes match.
When the sizes match.
The second
There you go.
occlusion area has been treated. Her heart rate is Be careful when placing the patch. Watch your timing. Doctor, the patient's Use the defibrillator to resuscitate her.
Come on.
We have a pulse. The patch wasn't placed at the correct angle.
That's why. Bad angle. No, they're right. I gotta have less. I have less of an angle. Or more? No, it was less. Damn it. 1 second.
Doctor, the patient's undergoing cardiac. Use the defibrillator
Oh
to
damn,
resuscitate
fucking
her.
Epic Games.
We have a pulse. The patch wasn't placed at the correct angle.
Not the correct angle, huh? Okay. We need like a very tiny rotation. I'm saying 10 degrees maybe?
Doctor, the patient's under. Use the defibrillator to resuscitate her. We have a pulse. Please watch the guide.
1 second, I think I got a text. No, don't stop it.
When the sizes
Full
match.
screen. I said full screen, damn it. Fucking. Fuck it.
Not yet.
The myocardium
Oh, yeah.
Let's treat them all. The patches have begun synchronizing with the myocardium's movement. And her heart rate is... She should be all...
There we go. Look at that. What? That looks
Please
different.
close her up. We're
There we go.
finished. Good work, everyone.
Oh, rookie. Nice.
That was a flawless operation. Simply perfect. The patch is sure to integrate with the existing tissue. The patient...
I think we'll see excellent results, Valerie.
I'm glad to hear that.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more operations like this one.
Well, we wouldn't want to take up all of your time. The director has already spoken to us regarding the research on stigma. We're currently in the planning stages. In time, we'll show you what we're capable of.
Okay.
Right, Cynthia?
Yes, Dr. Cromwell.
She looks sad for some reason. Like right there. Start the episode? Yeah, baby.
The NIH has received a request for help from a hospital in Texas. They're having difficulty with the diagnosis. Based on the patient's chart, there's a good chance that it's stigma.
Offended.
So this is what we're dealing with, hmm?
These two
Okay.
pictures were taken only a few hours apart. Look how far the focus is shifted. And its size has increased drastically.
A biopsy was attempted, but they were unable to obtain a sample of the pathogen.
Oh, is this
The patient
stigma?
will arrive in roughly 3 hours. Vaughn and Blaylock will be performing the surgery.
We'll check the patient's condition upon her arrival and then proceed with the operation.
We're treading on unknown territory, so we'd appreciate your support, Dr. Tsuji.
I highly doubt that you two will need my help, but I'll get ready nonetheless.
Okay, cool.
The patient's vitals are stable. Blood pressure 110/60, heart rate 60 beats per minute.
Any case history?
She was involved in an accident 2 months ago. Laceration on the right thigh. Looks like they used artificial blood for transfusion. Q-heme blood from Syntec Labs, to be exact.
Are there any contraindications?
None that I'm aware of, but can you check with them just in case?
Will do.
The affected area is the liver. The course of treatment will be determined during the procedure. However, I have a feeling this will be different in the professor's case.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not
Even so,
talking. I'm texting my.
I'm sure our experience with
girlfriend.
stigma will prove invaluable. Let's stay positive.
You strained the stigma.
According to the test results,
Results?
this stigma is completely different from the one we saw before. There are some similarities, though, such as high mobility.
It tries every conceivable method to make its victims suffer. It's like a nightmare.
It's just
If it
stress
is
related.
stigma, then there must be a core somewhere, even if it looks different. If we can find and attack it, we may be able to identify the key to stopping it.
A core. Now that you mention it, there was something in the report about that.
That's right. We saw something like a core when we were operating on Professor Wilkins.
I'm surprised you remember, Marcus.
Call it a hunch.
A hunch? Well, at least we have some hope of defeating it now.
I'll be praying that I don't have to get involved.
It's haunting me. Wherever I go.
Dr. Vaughn?
It's nothing. Let's end this nightmare.
Did Vaughn create this? What happened?
Okay, let's begin.
We'll just have to open her up and observe it for ourselves.
There we go. There we go. What the fuck is that?
Stigma confirmed. It's much larger than before.
That must be its core there in the center. The plan is to use the laser to incinerate it, but
It's surrounded by
We
this
can't
stuff.
do anything to it since the core has enveloped itself within the surrounding cellular tissue. The tissue itself looks highly viscous. Let's try draining it.
Good job. The amount of cellular tissue.
Okay, then let's continue this. And is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
The core's been exposed. Use the laser to incinerate it. It's working.
That's not it, is it?
The core's being covered by the tissue again. Please drain it. There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it. Just a little more.
This is very fucking
did
easy.
it split up?
Oh,
The core has to be in one of them. Use the drain to find it.
Vitals are dropping. Is the tumor hardening?
Let's extract it with the PAL procedure. First, use the drain on the heart.
The draining is complete. Use the scalpel to excise it.
The remaining tissue...
The tumor has been...
Vitals are
Good job,
dropping?
Doctor.
We can't use the drain on the hardened tissue. Use the laser to soften it up.
it also got more complicated. It chooses the split. Fuck it, might as well.
Not yet.
Now we can use the scalpel to detach it. The tissue has been extracted. It's dangerous to leave the pieces of cellular tissue alone.
There we go, back to normal. Is he gone?
More of the tissue has been created. Drain it immediately.
Come on. Die already. One second. Oh shit. Come on, just die already. I've gotten you so many times.
You did it. No
I
presence
win.
of stigma can be detected. Let's treat the remaining cellular tissue.
That was an amazing operation. Let's close her up and be finished.
We were able to deal with it. Somehow.
I hope this is the last time we have to perform an operation in the dark.
We're finished. Great work, everyone.
Oh, how is that just a C?
Stigma's
Cringe.
mobility far exceeded our expectations.
You all did a great job treating it. I'm glad you're with us.
Would you expect any less from Caduceus' own special disease counteraction team?
We'll hold a conference on this case of stigma within the next few days.
Okay.
Of course, I'll need you to speak regarding today's operation and the patient's progress. Your report will also be forwarded to Health and Human Services, so please get started immediately.
Just give me a strong cup of joe, and I'll crank it out.
Good. You know, there was no way we could have anticipated Stigma's metamorphosis.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that, how it changed.
I was amazed at how well you adapted. I know you have the healing touch, but even so...
I guess I'm just lucky.
Deputy Secretary.
The results from the liver exam indicate that the patient has been making satisfactory progress.
Dude, 1 second. Okay.
She seems to be recovering well, but it's unclear how this disease was
Yeah,
transmitted.
how
We
the
should
hell?
continue monitoring her for at least another month.
I see. Well, I think it's safe to say that the treatment was successful.
Oh, that's nice.
How about the pathogen itself? What have we learned?
What did we
And
learn?
please keep it brief, Robert.
My pleasure, although our analysis is only partially complete. First, the biopsy. Stigma did not match any known organism, meaning it's a new species, so we'll have to come up with a name for it. So how about it, Dr. Everett? You'll be a grandfather one of these days.
Well, my son's only 12. All he thinks about is football.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll ask someone else. Now, regarding the spectral analysis, our attempts to determine its structure resulted in failure.
What? How is that possible? I've never heard of that happening before.
Oh. one day you'll see. No, sorry, I'm talking that loud.